We spent our morning talking about coaching for success. Let's just recap what that was. Coaching for success is what? What was our definition? Proactively guiding individuals and teams to achieve results. Exactly. So what's the first word again? Proactively. Okay, good. Let's think about that. Talk this morning about coaching for success, which is all about being proactive. You are essentially coaching and training people. You're usually helping your people do something they've never done before, okay? You're encouraging them. You're polishing them. Hey, I've never been interviewed for a manager before. Will you help me? I'd love to help you. Okay? So these are things where you're really moving people to the next level. This afternoon, we're going to talk about coaching for improvement. So what's our biggest difference between this morning and this afternoon? Instead of being proactive, absolutely, you all know, we're reactive, okay? As we're coaching for improvement, we're reacting to something. How much of your time as a manager do you think you spend doing coaching for improvement as opposed to coaching for success? 100%? 80? 90? It's high. You guys are dead on. I bet you're right there. You're going to spend the majority of your time coaching for improvement because that's the way we set up our businesses. Okay? We're very good at looking for things that need improvement. What do we call them? Here's a word that really irritates me. Opportunities. Okay? People don't make mistakes anymore. Instead, there are opportunities. So we're very good at identifying opportunities. These are things that people need to fix. Okay? Essentially, and we don't like to say this, essentially they've done something wrong and you need them to fix it. Okay? It's a different type of coaching, but it's one that we spend most of our time in because we've gotten very good at identifying discrepancies. I want you to think for a moment about the coaching for improvement discussions that you have or that you're planning on having in the near future. What type of things do you typically coach people on? Numbers, okay, dating. Okay. I want to suggest to you that you can break down all of your coaching for improvement discussions into two different areas. First one is performance. Performance is all about tasks. It's what we're doing. It's what our job objectives are. Very quantifiable. Do you have ways that you can measure performance in your workplaces? Absolutely. You have reports. You have data. Some of you make charts and put people's names on them and say, Susie's better than Bob and Bob's better than Chuck. Your team's better than the blue team. Let's compete. Right? We measure performance. We're very good at it. Okay? We love to measure performance. We love to give people a number. Okay? The other thing that can happen when we're coaching people to improve something, if you're not coaching them to improve their work performance, you could be coaching them to improve a behavior. Think about that for a second and give me some examples of what type of behaviors you might have to coach at work. Abuse of the sick policy, okay, that's one. Coming in late. Anything else? Yeah, bad attitude. Okay, what's that mean? Bad attitude. You know when you've got them, right? These are things that you have to coach that are different than coaching performance. Which one would you rather do? If I said, let's go coach right now, would you rather coach on performance or behavior? Performance. Okay, everybody in the room says performance. And why is that? Because you got facts. Okay? I will suggest to you that when you're coaching people on behavior, you have to go in and be as similarly prepared as you are when you coach on performance. When you're coaching on performance, you always have data. Here are your files, here are your numbers. When you're coaching on behavior, you have to be just as prepared. I'm going to tell you something that I did as a new manager. I had a girl in my unit who I was butting heads with. That was pretty obvious, so I decided to call her in my office, and she sat down and I said, "You are disrespectful." Whoa! Right? You are disrespectful with a capital D. You know what I did? I stuck a big old label on her. Okay? And it's just one of those words that makes all the hair on the back of your neck just stand up. You're like, ooh, them's fighting words, right? You're calling me disrespectful. What does that mean? So immediately she said to me, what? I am not like what? All right? So even though I didn't know that I should be that prepared, I actually had some data that I was able to provide to her that I'd been keeping in a folder. And I was able to pull it out and say, okay, let's look at this note, let's look at what you wrote in this file, and have that type of discussion. But you have to be very careful, because when you're coaching people on behaviors, we tend to go big picture. And big picture is ugly. So you have to have just as many facts and just as much data as you do when you're coaching people on performance. Now I want you to think about something else about coaching for improvement. What type of reactions have you experienced so far in your coaching for improvement discussions with people? Anger, okay, anger's out there. Silence, oh yeah, how about this guy? Yeah, didn't say nothing, right? Who else? Oh, there's another one. Yeah, tears. Okay, guys, if you hadn't had tears, then God bless you, but you're going to have them. You're going to be sitting in your office at some point, and somebody's going to sit there and cry. I've had women cry in my office, and I've had men cry in my office, and it's very uncomfortable, but it will happen to you. What's the commonality? What does this mean? What happens when we're coaching for improvement? There you go. Now, it's emotional, okay? People get emotional. You are telling them they've done something wrong. It's natural to have some sort of emotional reaction. It can be all over the charts, but it's going to be emotional. I want you to think very carefully about your job. I want you to think about how much time you are spending in your work venue. Take out night sleep time, okay? We all got to do that. Your waking hours, how much time do you spend in that place? 8 hours, 9 hours, 10 hours? And what about at night with your family? 3 or 4 hours. Okay? So the majority of your waking time is spent at that place doing something, getting paid to do something that we call work. Okay? Our ego and our self-esteem is really tied into our work and our work performance. It's a huge part of who we are. You ask people, you meet somebody new, oftentimes we say, well, what do you do? Where do you work? You don't say, are you a mom or are you a dad? We ask them about their work. People get a lot of self-value out of their work and their performance. I'm going to tell you another secret. Nobody gets up in the morning and says, I can't wait to go to work today and be crappy. They don't. You don't have somebody who works for you who says, I can't wait to go in there and screw up Suzanne's day. I want to go in and be the worst performer in the unit. You don't have that person. Everybody wants to go to work and be successful and have a great day and get praise. Okay? Nobody wants to come home to their spouse or their significant other at the end of the night, and what do they say? Hi, honey, how was your day? You don't want to say, oh, well, my manager sat me down and for 20 minutes told me that my performance is awful and I'm going to have to go on written objectives and I could lose my job in 90 days if I don't improve. Not a good feeling. All right. So we have to, as managers, know that as we're going into Coach for Improvement, you're going to be expecting some sort of emotional reaction on the other side. All right? Your Coaching for Improvement discussions are going to break down into 2 different types of discussion. You have an initial discussion, your number 1, and then you always have a follow-up discussion. I'm going to tell you a secret. Your first discussion is a positive discussion, okay? The first time you talk to somebody about something that they need to fix, it's a positive discussion. You're merely calling to their attention that they need to change something, and you have every positive expectation and belief that they will. It's very matter of fact. Hey, this right here, you need to fix it a little bit. Tweak it for me, okay? No, you can do it. Thanks, bye. It's that easy. It's a positive conversation. You're just really giving them some data they don't have, letting them know they need to fix it. They're going to fix it. You go on your way. Okay? When you go back in for follow-up discussions, that's when it kind of branches out into different things, and we'll talk about that tomorrow morning. Your follow-up discussions can be all, high five, good job, or maybe it's, hey, you're kind of improving, but we need to go a little bit farther, or it could be, uh-oh, we didn't make any progress. So we'll talk about those this morning. But what we want to do now is move into our actual Coaching for Improvement discussions and talk a little bit more about what goes on in that discussion. Okay? Go ahead and turn to page 3.